Within the label, within the process, within the game, what the game was.
Okay.
You know, I wasn't a priority.
I had to endure, you know, people taking advantage, people being predatory, people manipulating, people finessing.
Musiq Soulchild's career was on the rise, until he made some questionable choices that ruined his career. Fewer people started buying his music. Radio stations were not playing his songs anymore. What really went wrong?
I had no context of what was going on. And, you know, the people that I was working with at the time, you know, God bless them, their focus was on something else.
From creating a new character where he became a rapper that was just so different from what his fans always knew him for.
Hey, this is what you do. Hey, do this, and oh, everybody does this, so come on. It's like, and because because you gotta understand the timeline, I'm still in survival mode.
To struggle with very bad drinking problems. His alcoholism was so serious, it almost ruined his career before it even started. And the issues with label switching over creative control was just a whole lot. Let's delve into it. Musiq Soulchild, born Talib Johnson in Philadelphia, had been a well-known name in R&B and neo-soul music since the late 1990s. He became famous because of his heartfelt lyrics and smooth sound. His first album, I Just Wanna Sang, helped him rise to the top. He took inspiration from other Philadelphia music legends like the Delphonics and Teddy Pendergrass. Over the years, Musiq built a strong fan base who loved his emotional songs. Even though he stayed away from the spotlight for some time, he continued working quietly, blending hip-hop and R&B sounds into his music. Musiq kept his promise. In the year 2000, he released his first album, I Just Wanna Sing. You ain't even really gotta be my girlfriend. It was a huge success. People loved his fresh mix of hip-hop and soul. His songs felt real, and fans connected with them right away. In just a few years, he had platinum albums, hit songs on the radio, and a strong fan base that loved him. Everything looked good. He was one of the biggest names in R&B, but nothing stays the same forever. After a few years, Musiq switched record labels. That move was the beginning of his problems. By the late 2000s, his album sales started to fall. His sound started to change too, and not in a good way. Fans noticed something was different. The magic that made them love him before was missing. Around this time, the world of R&B was changing too. New types of music were taking over the radio. R&B was not as popular as it used to be. Artists like Musiq were finding it hard to stay on top. His 2008 album On My Radio did not sell like his earlier albums. It was the first album of his career that did not go platinum or gold. That was a big warning sign. Behind closed doors, Musiq knew he was in trouble. Fewer people were buying his music. Radio stations were not playing his songs as much. His shows were not selling out like before. He felt like he was disappearing. He was scared. Instead of sticking to what made him special, he decided to try something completely different. Other artists reinvent themselves too, but they do it with a plan. When Prince changed his name to a symbol, he had a reason. When Beyoncé became Sasha Fierce, it was part of her growth. But with Musiq Soulchild, it felt random and messy. Instead of looking smart or cool, he looked like he was desperate. Instead of saving his career, it made things worse. He became even less important in the music world. The industry was already moving forward without him, and now he was stuck even further behind. But in 2014, he made a choice that confused a lot of his fans. He created a new character called the Husel and tried to become a rapper.
Ain't no time to be no sucker in the field. Grind a dash out of you already know the drill.
Many people thought this was a bad idea. They felt it was not real and did not match who he really was. His fans loved him for his smooth R&B songs, not for rapping. When he started rapping, many fans got upset. They felt like he was trying to be someone he was not. Instead of supporting him, they showed their anger on the internet. A lot of people made fun of him and said they wanted the old Musiq Soulchild back.
Everything I put in, damn if it don't pay. When I reach the top, homie, that's why.
Even though people were upset, Musiq tried to explain why he made this change. He said that R&B music was not as popular anymore. He felt like he had to do something new to stay in the music business. Musiq believed that if he became a rapper, he could reach more people and stay famous. He even made a small album as the Husel and gave it away for free. He had other rappers like Pastor Troy, T-Pain, Bone Crusher, and Cash Out on the songs. But no matter what he said, most of his fans did not accept the Husel. They just wanted Musiq to keep singing the love songs they knew and loved. After the Husel idea failed, Musiq tried something else. He came up with another new character called Purple Wonder Love.
You should do it right, doing what you love.
This was also after 2014. It was another big change in his style. But again, fans did not like it. They felt even more confused. They did not understand why he kept changing. They wanted the Musiq Soulchild who sang songs like Love and Half Crazy. Fans felt like he was running away from what made him special. The new styles did not sound right to them. Instead of winning new fans, Musiq lost many old fans who supported him for years. In 2016, Musiq released a new album called Life on Earth. It was his 7th studio album. This time, he worked with an independent music company called E1 Music. Before this, he made his albums with big labels like Def Jam Recordings and Atlantic Records. Life on Earth was different because it was not with a major label. The album did well enough to enter the US Billboard 200 chart at number 27. Even though it was good news, some fans still felt disappointed. They said the album did not have the same soul and feeling as his early albums. Some people felt he was no longer the same artist they fell in love with. Many fans believed that Musiq's music quality started to fall during the late 2000s and into the 2010s. His first albums were full of heart and soul. They touched people's emotions, but his newer music felt different. Some said it sounded like he was just making songs to stay in the business, not because he loved it. This made many longtime fans sad. They missed the deep feelings his old songs gave them. They hoped he would return to his roots, but it seemed like he was moving further away from what made him great in the first place. Songs like Heart Away proved that Musiq still knew how to mix emotional stories with catchy tunes. His singing flowed beautifully over horns and hand claps in Changed My Mind, and the fun sound of finger snaps kept I Do feeling lively and real. Musiq's ability to work well with other artists also stood out. On Part of Me, he sang with Joy Starr about love and relationships. Rhapsody also added a strong rap verse to the song Far Gone, making it one of the highlights of the album. However, Life on Earth was not perfect. On the song Loving You, Musiq used some vocal effects that sounded more like a move to fit new music trends instead of improving the song. Many listeners thought the song would have been stronger without the effects. Another song, Alive and Well,
You're alive and well, just be alive and well.
had a good message about staying positive no matter what. But some of the lyrics came off as strange. For example, the line, "If you're a fat man, then be a happy fat man," made some people laugh because it sounded odd and distracted from the meaning of the song. In his personal life, things also changed. He had a second child in 2018, but there was drama around that too. He did not talk much about it, and when people asked him questions, he often avoided answering. It showed that his private life was not as smooth as people once thought. By this point, it was clear that Musiq Soulchild would probably never return to being the superstar he once was. Even though he was not in the spotlight like before, Musiq Soulchild never stopped making music. In 2018, he formed a hip-hop soul group called Lumi Trice.
Blind man can see your hurt side, using me as an escape.
He showed he still loved making music and working with other artists. In 2020, he made a tribute mixtape called Do It for Dilla to honor the famous producer J Dilla. He gave classic R&B songs a fresh, soulful twist. In 2021, he even made surprise appearances at events like DJ Cassidy's Pass the Mic and the BT Soul Train Awards. Every time he performed, people remembered just how special his voice was. In 2022, he got another chance to remind everyone why he was once one of the kings of R&B. Musiq Soulchild went up against Anthony Hamilton in a Verzuz battle. Many people were ready for a night full of beautiful music, emotions, and memories. Fans looked forward to hearing their favorite songs sung live. However, after the show, Musiq Soulchild's performance became a hot topic. His performance caused a lot of debate, and not everyone was happy with how he chose to sing his songs. Over the years, many people who attended Musiq Soulchild's live shows had mixed feelings. Some said his concerts were sometimes disappointing. There were times when he sang off-key, missed important notes, or seemed low in energy. These past experiences made some fans a little nervous about how he would do during the Verzuz battle. Even though his album sounded amazing and touched many hearts, performing live has always been a harder area for him. Some fans had high hopes, while others kept their expectations low. During the Verzuz event, Musiq Soulchild came on stage with energy and passion. He clearly wanted to give a good performance. However, the way he chose to sing caused a lot of discussion. Instead of sticking to the simple and emotional way his songs were originally recorded, he added a lot of vocal runs and riffs to the performance. Runs and riffs are vocal tricks where a singer slides through different notes to add feeling to the music. These tricks can make a song sound more beautiful when done right. Sadly, many people felt that Musiq overdid it. Instead of making the songs more powerful, his extra runs and riffs made the song sound messy and confusing. Some fans felt that it took away the beauty and simplicity that made his music special in the first place. It seemed like he was trying very hard to show his vocal skills, but it ended up hurting the overall sound. Many people said the runs were stiff, offbeat, and sometimes even off-key. It became hard to enjoy the songs when there were too many vocal changes happening at once. Other singers have used runs and riffs beautifully in live performances. Luther Vandross, Mariah Carey, Jill Scott, Jasmine Sullivan, and Yolanda Adams are just a few examples. Their runs and riffs flow naturally and add strong emotions without taking away from the songs. In Musiq Soulchild's Verzuz performance, though, the extra singing seemed forced. Some fans said it made them frustrated because they just wanted to hear the songs they loved the way they remembered them. It was not a question of Musiq Soulchild lacking talent. On his studio albums, he had shown many times that he could sing runs and riffs beautifully. The real problem was how he brought that talent to the live stage. Singing live is much harder because there are no second chances or technology to fix mistakes. Some fans believe that Musiq was trying too hard to impress, and in doing so, he lost the natural, smooth feeling that his music usually has. There were also some talks that maybe the sound system at the event was part of the problem. Sometimes, if the sound system is bad, it can make even the best singers sound off. Still, many agreed that Musiq's singing style that night was too much. He kept adding extra tricks that did not fit the songs and made them hard to enjoy. Now, during an interview, Musiq explains why he wasn't interested in doing Verzuz. He said, "Honestly, I wasn't thinking about doing Verzuz at all. It's nothing personal. I have no problem with Verzuz. I actually think it's really good. It's important that people know this. Verzuz is great because it shows love and respect to people who worked hard in music. It reminds people of the artists who built the music we all enjoy today. Sometimes people forget about the ones who came before. We have a bad habit of forgetting the ones who made a difference. I think Verzuz helps fix that. It's a good start. Musiq explained that the real reason was not about Verzuz itself. He shared that he was not a very public person. He said he only showed himself in public when he had to work. Outside of his job, he didn't really care much about being on social media. His publicist would sometimes tell him about new things happening online. She would explain them in ways he hadn't thought about before. Sometimes he would agree and say, "Okay, that makes sense." In the past, even if he didn't want to do something, he would do it if he understood the reason behind it. But now, he was different. If he didn't want to do something, he just didn't do it, even if it made sense to others. But Verzuz kept coming up again and again, and it made him think more deeply. The interviewer asked if this was just about Verzuz or about Anthony Hamilton too. Musiq said it was both. Anthony Hamilton had reached out to him a few years ago to talk about doing something together, but at that time, Musiq wasn't interested. He said he had a lot going on in his life. For almost 5 years, he had been dealing with personal problems. These were not small problems, and he never talked about them publicly. They were heavy things that built up over time. One day, it became too much, and he had to face them. He said outside of his work, he was just trying to heal and feel better. That was his focus. He explained that he had started talking with a professional therapist. It wasn't an easy step for him, but it was the right thing. He said he was thankful because talking to someone helped him work through many problems. Musiq said the pandemic gave him a lot of time to think. Since everything was shut down, he couldn't stay busy and ignore his problems anymore. He had no choice but to sit down, think about his life, and deal with his feelings. This helped him a lot. It made him stronger mentally and emotionally. Without that healing time, he said, he would not have been ready to do something like Verzuz. He made it clear that healing was very important to him. He shared something very deep. He said that many of his songs were made during painful times in his life. These songs were connected to sad memories. If he went on stage and performed those songs, it would feel like he was celebrating his own pain. He said he stayed quiet about it for a long time because he didn't want to ruin the good memories that fans had with his music. But now, he needed to be honest with himself and with others about how he really felt. Musiq was hiding big problems behind the scenes. While everyone was clapping for him, he was fighting a dark battle. He struggled with very bad drinking problems. His alcoholism was serious. It almost ruined his career before it even started. At one point, he drank so much that he had a nervous breakdown. He had to go to the hospital. Lying in that hospital bed, he made a promise to himself. He said if he got another chance, he would take life and his career more seriously. In the last days of the year, Musiq Soulchild performed at City Winery, Philadelphia. Many fans were excited to see him live. The concert started with Musiq singing Deja Vu, which made many people feel like they had traveled back in time.
Girl, you make it hard to say goodbye like deja vu.
His live band was full of energy, and the backup singers danced while singing, making the performance lively. The atmosphere was full of excitement as people danced in their seats. However, not everyone agreed on the show. Some said that while Musiq had charm, his energy felt low at times. A few audience members also said the sound system was not perfect and that it hurt the feeling of the songs. Musiq performed many of his old hits, such as Teach Me.
Show me the way to surrender my heart.
So Beautiful, Just Friends,
I'm not trying to pressure, just can't stop thinking about you.
and Half Crazy.
Because I can't get you out of my system.
The crowd sang along loudly to the familiar tunes. Some fans loved hearing their favorite songs live again, but there were others who felt disappointed. They noticed that Musiq seemed less connected to some of his old songs. In past interviews, Musiq had admitted he did not love all his hit songs the same way fans did. This made some people feel sad because they felt that those songs were a big part of why they loved him. It created a little bit of tension between the artist and some of the audience. Another thing that brought attention was Musiq's behavior on social media in recent years. While he stayed mostly quiet, some of his comments in the past had caused small controversies. Some people thought he came across as uncaring or distant from the fans who had supported him for so long. This made a few fans unsure about how much he really cared about performing for them. Still, when Musiq ended the show with his upbeat song, Buddy, most of the audience got up, danced, and sang every word. It showed that no matter the small issues during the show, many fans still held a deep love for his music. Musiq Soulchild reminded people that Philadelphia still had a big place in the soul and R&B world. His performance showed both the magic of his music and some of the cracks that time and fame can bring. It showed that Musiq Soulchild was not stuck in the past. He was still growing, still learning, still creating. Songs like I Remember You and Your Ex reminded fans that he could still write beautiful music. His voice, even if not as perfect as before, was still one of the most unique in R&B. The album was well received. Fans were happy to hear new music from him. But even with this new project, Musiq Soulchild was not a mainstream superstar anymore. He was not selling out big arenas. He was not topping the charts, and he probably never would again. But the truth was, he didn't seem to care about fame anymore. Musiq Soulchild made it clear that he was in a different place in life now. He focused on making music for the people who still loved him. He stayed out of the drama and noise of the music industry. He even started mentoring younger artists, helping them with songwriting and sharing his knowledge. Musiq Soulchild's career was one of the most interesting stories in R&B. He went from being a major star in the early 2000s to struggling with changing trends and bad career moves. At his peak, he dropped platinum albums, defined a generation of love songs, and created a sound that people still remember today. But when things got tough, he tried to change himself too much, and it cost him dearly. So the real question is this: was Musiq Soulchild's fall his own fault? Or was he just another artist hurt by an industry that always chases the next big thing? No matter what the answer is, one thing is clear. Musiq Soulchild's voice, his songs, and his spirit will never be forgotten by those who truly love R&B.